I can't even say the word fatigue anymore. That is what my client Jenny said recently on one of our coaching calls. This was the woman who could barely stand up straight some days and had become bedridden for days on end due to her chronic pain and chronic fatigue. She spoke those words to me just 3 short months after we started working together. I can't even say the word fatigue anymore. Listen, if you have been wondering what really goes down in coaching sessions and how working with me really is, then you are in for a very special treat today. I have an incredible guest who will share her story and her heart and help give you some answers to some of those questions that you may be having. Because even if you have hired a health coach before or you have done a health program, a weight loss program before, you will want to listen in. The fact is, I do things so much differently at Treasured Wellness. I am right there with my clients every step of their wellness journey. They have access to me. They hear back from me. They aren't left wondering if I even got their messages. Hello. Been there, done that in my own journey, and I refuse to treat my clients that way. There's no reason for it, really. So there is a level of support when you say yes to the coaching I offer that you will be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. But I do not ever want you to take my word for it. Listen into what my beautiful guest has to say. Jenny is a powerhouse woman, and this is what makes her transformation so incredible. She is a doer, and she is getting things done. And you will hear her story, and I know you will be so encouraged in your own health as you listen, because you are a doer too. You get things done, and good health and energy isn't just for someone else, friend. It is for you too. So if you are ready to own your health and regain energy and clear thinking in 12 weeks without dieting, deprivation, and disappointment, so that you can wake feeling refreshed, have a clear mind for your day, and have the energy to be fully present with your family in the evening, now is the time. Yep, right now, before the holidays descend upon you and you push off your health once again, because you have decided that you're not going to follow the rest of the world and wait till January 1st. No, you want to get it started now so that you can feel amazing during the holidays and not your tired, foggy, sluggish self. So the link is in the description and the show notes. Settle in for my conversation with Jenny. You are going to be so encouraged. Hi everybody, welcome back to Treasured Wellness. Today we have a fantastic guest on the show. Jenny is an incredible woman who is also one of my clients, and I have so loved working with her. She has done incredible following the nutritional and lifestyle protocol that we designed together for her to fit her life. So remember, it's not one size fits all over here at Treasured Wellness. You get personalized to you and your needs, care, direction, and support. And one of the things that we did rather quickly in the program was look at her labs. And this is vital to have functional, holistic eyes on lab work and not just those conventional ranges, because the ranges are more aligned with what healthy truly is. And so, and I talk about that in other episodes. So I just wanted to welcome you to the podcast, Jenny.
Good morning. Thank you. I am so honored and excited to be here. I feel like a star.
You are a star, my dear. You are gorgeous. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm just so happy to have you on today to really shed some light for women listening that you really can be your own best advocate for your health, right? You can
Yeah.
really trust your God-given instincts about your own body, and you can heal and restore from the inside out. So, Jenny, why don't we get started? Tell us what it is you do, what fills your days, what are you treasuring right now?
Okay. Well, I am retired and failed at retirement. I retired from the Department of Corrections for the state of North Carolina after 32 years. Then I failed retirement about a year and a half ago and went back on contract only 2 days a week. I also run an Airbnb. Actually, we run an Airbnb, which was my husband's little home where he grew up in.
Mm.
We refurbished it and did everything from the ground up, and it's been very successful and it keeps me super busy. And I also volunteer at a local pantry twice a week, which keeps me very, very busy. So other than that, I love going kayaking with my husband, Mark, our pups, long walks, and we love to travel.
Yeah, you are a busy, busy woman for sure. I love it. Yes. So, would you share with us what were your main trouble areas that made you want to reach out to me for help?
I started experiencing a lot chronic pain, low energy, fatigue, the brain fog that was left over from being diagnosed from long COVID had just magnified to 10 plus. And mid-March to April, it went to the point where I at times could not even get out of bed. So I went through what the doctors called a crisis, and my body just shut down. And for about 3 weeks, I was in bed crying. I would get up barely, take a shower, had no appetite at the time. Went to work for a little bit of 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, went to the pantry, could not perform the way I wanted to, came home and had to go to bed. The bed was my best friend and at the same time my worst enemy because that bed created like a cocoon where I felt safe, but I was also in a state of depression because I was not the person I'm used to be. So that itself was overwhelming since I am a hyper person, active person, super energetic, and I could not function the way I was used to. At first, I thought it was an injury from all the labor I was doing at the pantry. My lower back felt like um, shattered glasses just poking through my skin, especially the lower back. My joints, my legs, my developed this rash that it was coming up and down my upper thigh on the right hand side. My thumbs could not bend at times. Um, the fatigue was the worst part. I am one that could actually function through pain. I have a very high resistance to pain. But the fatigue on top of it, I just could not cope with it. And it was just taking over my body and it took over my life.
Wow.
So uh, that was very, very, very crucial and very chronic for me, again, because of my personality. And it affected, as I said, not only my mind, my body, my soul, my relationship with my husband.
Right.
Everything just started crumbling down. And I could see in him how upset but worried he was. And that was the breaking point right there.
Mm. Wow. Yes. And I remember that too, Jenny. And, I remember too, like you even had a hard time standing upright. You were
Correct.
so much chronic pain and, daily, every single day, your pain was so severe. And then you're right, you add to that the fatigue, the crushing fatigue. So, yeah, you were really, really struggling when we started working together. So, what would you say, how quickly did you start to feel better in the pain, like to have reduction of pain, but then also have more energy?
Well, I would have to say probably within 3 weeks, I started seeing a spark of energy coming to me, or at least the desire to get up. The fact that, okay, I need to do the things that Michelle told me. I have to get up and was reading the book and reading my Bible and listening to podcasts and reading every label that I was purchasing of any kind of food or any kind of anything that I was putting in my body, I was reading the ingredients. And then as I was more aware of what I was putting in my body, I would say 3.5 weeks, I started feeling a bit of stamina, and I started feeling the desire to push, which I did not have before. Before, I just surrendered. If I don't know if there's anyone, see, I just surrendered. This is it. I'm done. I don't know what to do. And it is not in my DNA to surrender. But this right here put the stop to the surrendering. And I was beginning to have the stamina and the desire to push my body to do the things I needed to do to feel better. So I would say about 3.5 weeks, I started getting up, not laying in bed all day. And although I needed to take a nap still, I would not go to the bed. I would sit on the recliner. So I would just, I've always been very disciplined, and I'm all about rules and regulations and protocols and things like that. So I'm pretty good about, if you give me boundaries, I'm pretty good about staying in those boundaries. But if you let me go, I'm in trouble. So, and that caused a lot of trouble and problems when I was a child. So they had to keep me in boundaries. So when I knew this, okay, I'm tired, I need my rest. And even you would say, don't push it, don't push it. Listen to your body. That was my aha moments for the time being, listening to my body. My body will tell me. And before I was like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I don't care. Yeah, it might be bad for me, but it's so good to me. I like it. I like it. I like it. So at that time, I started taking my power naps in the recliner versus the bed.
Yes.
And the energy slowly started coming back. And again, not wanting to repeat myself, but about 3.5 weeks or so.
That's incredible. I mean, that's actually really a great timeline considering where you started from, right? You know, needing to stay in bed. You know, the bed had become your prison essentially, which was quite ironic considering that you worked in a prison 2 days a week, right? And so it had become, I love how you explained that. Like it was your cocoon, but then it was also the very thing that was keeping you bound, really. So your transformation is very incredible. It's just amazing, but it's not unusual when we do start listening to our body and we do start giving it what it really is asking for and needing. And I mean, Jenny, you set some goals for yourself. Did you hit all the goals that you set for yourself?
Well, as you remember, one of the main reasons I started this, and first of all, I have to give all the glory to God for giving me a godly husband, and a husband that also has begun to take care of himself, his body, his soul, his mind, and is doing everything possible for him to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So he had been way ahead of me on this journey, and had been telling me do this, do this, this, and I'm like, no, 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 you are just obsessed, this and that. So I have to give the glory to God for that, and the fact that taking the journey with him made it so much easier because he completely understood, and the fact that he was seeing the results and I saw the relief in him was a reward itself. But we had already planned and had invested on a trip that we were going to in September to Yellowstone. So all the things that we had planned and the state that I was in, I was afraid that I'm not going to be able to make it. You guys are going to have to go back without me. I don't want to hold you back. I don't want to be a burden. I cannot do this. So I was in extreme state of worrying and feeling like I was going to be less than. So that was one of my main goals. I am going on this trip and I am going to enjoy it. I am not going to have anyone having to wait on me or do anything like that. I am going to be the person that I know I am, and I'm going to enjoy this 100%. And the trip was in mid-September. So when I started with you on June 1st, I was like, you were talking to me and I'm just doing math in my mind. June, July, August, 90 days for the first phase. I can do this. I want to push it. I want to do this. I want to be honor roll on this thing because I want to do this.
Right.
So of course, my health, my long my big picture, the long term, of course, was there. But
Yes.
I have to tell you, that trip right there did it, because that was like, I am going to do this. So that right there was absolutely a reward from heaven, because I was able to do it. But in between, I could see how I was taking those steps, from baby steps. I was walking and I was almost running with it, because I was excited. I was concerned about, I was losing this weight that I didn't need to lose to begin with, but I was losing the weight. And then with all the measurements of my extremities and everything, I was looking the inches. So then what I'm doing, like, oh, but I don't need to lose this weight, but I feel so good. It was feeling my self-esteem, not trying to be proud or vain, but I love the way my jeans fit. That I had to go and get on my new jeans, and I had to try, oh my God, I'm wearing a small. What? So all these things came together, that rewarded me to continue. So yes, I was able to get up in the morning, go to the pantry, not picking up 50-pound boxes like I was to. And that was another smart decision. I
Right.
had to then say, I don't have to pick up 50-pound boxes
Right.
anymore. I set my limit. And people around me work with me. So I was picking up 25 pounds or 30 pounds. Then I moved to a different area where I didn't have to do that much lifting.
Right.
So that I was able to take the walks that we so enjoy with the dogs, preparing myself for all the long walkings. And
Mhm.
during the trip that we did take and made it, we were walking an average to 3 to 5 miles a day
Yeah.
through all Montana and Wyoming. And I mean, hills and down and treacherous areas where we were actually just exploring and being in nature, and it was amazing. So I would have to say that everything that I had set my goals to accomplish, you know, I would say that I was able to achieve 85 to 90% of it. And the only thing that I could tell you that it still lingers somewhat is the brain fog and forgetting some things.
Hmm.
But patience.
Hmm.
That's what the Lord keeps telling me.
Yes.
Patience.
Yes. And the brain fog that does, especially brain fog from long COVID, that does really linger, unfortunately. And it's very, very frustrating. But yeah, your goals were to, reduce your pain, have more energy, not need naps anymore, and reduce that brain fog. And you did, you hit them all. And your pictures. Jenny was texting me pictures while she was on vacation, and it was just so, I was just so happy because this was such a big drive, as you just explained, for you. Like, I am going to do this trip. I will hike. I will not be left behind. And I'm going to see the beautiful creation that, God created that I set out to do. This was a plan. So I love that so much. What would you say has been your biggest takeaway from working together?
Well, my darling, you have been such a joy and such a gift in my life. Um, because at first, of course, that Mark kept telling me about this and functional doctors and functional this and da da da, and yeah. This is nothing but quacks, and I did.
I know.
Um, and I was relying so much, although I never liked to take medications and pills and this and that, but the traditional medicine, they kept telling me this is going to happen. And all the labs and all the tests that I was going through, and your labs are good, everything is fine, and then they started throwing the names of all the possible diseases that could have been, but yeah, there's not a test for it. So it's only based on how I feel and the symptoms I told them to. But working with you, and you had explained to me the difference between the traditional medicine and the aspects, even when we compare how my lab's results were to what the categories you have yours, and how you, as this is what you are, but this is what you need to be, and this is how you can accomplish it. You did not talk down to me, no judgment. I was able to speak to you and be honest with you and speak of things that at times were intimate, but I felt like it needed to be up in the air in order for me to truly achieve the healing and the goals that I wanted. I had to be open with you, and you made it so smoothly, so easy to talk to, in a godly way, in a girly way. But at the same time, I knew that was you're the professional, and I'm the one who needs to, for a change, and listen. So uh, it was good to have a hand to hold on to when I had the questions, and when I was not just quite feeling it.
Yeah.
Um, the diagnosis came about my rheumatoid arthritis, sorry, RA. And yeah, it was a label, an autoimmune disease, another label. And the medication that was pushed onto me, we were able to just modify it. So along with what you were showing me and the things that I was learning through the wellness process, it's becoming a success. But the transition and the coaching that you provided was absolutely amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. To all of you who are listening, truly listen. This woman knows what she's talking about because she has lived it herself. And I believe that is one of the best things that is that I it's like someone who has always been good and stands up in church and gives a testimony. But for someone who gives a testimony that has come from a very, very dark place, to me, that is more impactful. That's what actually touches me. And we could relate with that. And that I think that was probably the secret, that we were able to relate because you have been there and done that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And thank you for sharing that. And just I know that you saw my heart, and that came through in our conversations. And we had lots of laughter too, for sure. And
Yeah.
it's just so amazing when um you know you have that level of trust with somebody that you do feel that you can share everything, because the reality is I do need to know these things. And I'm so glad that you said that, because little things, it's almost like these little foxes that are continuing to steal away at our health. If we don't know, then we don't know really what direction to go. So it's that's very it's always so much better when somebody is completely forthright and honest. And even through the TMI and all of that, right? It's okay. I mean, it's literally okay. So, I mean, I have clients that send me like poop emojis because, I've talked with them so much about diet.
Yeah, we have some of those moments also, like, what's going on? What is this? Tell me. What
Right.
that color wasn't quite right.
Right. It's
Anyway,
all okay. It's all okay. Yes, I love it. And really, you owned your health, Jenny, when you joined the Restore program. You really did. And so, how will the work that you and I have done together have such a lasting impact on you?
well, as you have mentioned over and over again, and you correct me sometimes when I said, on vacation, I'm going to cheat a little bit. And she said, you're not cheating. Remember, this is your lifestyle. You are just sort of rewarding yourself, but then you are conscious about what you're doing, and you're able to immediately get back on track. It has become a lifestyle to me. It
Yeah.
has become that. And literally, anything that I purchase, everything that I put in my body, anything that I put on my body, the skin, from from what I drink to what I eat to what the shampoo I'm using, the moisturizer that I'm using. I share with you my issues with my dark circles and my neck and this, and I'm doing all this research and reading about, castor oil. That's wonderful. I remember when it was given to me when I could, I hated it when I was a child, and cod liver oil. But now it's
Yeah.
working wonders. The beef tallow that we were talking about,
Right.
purchased and been used right now. I got marked to use it. So all these things that are becoming now part of my life, the joy of going, I didn't share this with you, going through my pantry, my cupboard, and just get a big trash bag and get rid of all the junk that I in there in the refrigerator and the freezer, things that like, I haven't seen or eaten this in years, and why do I keep it in here? Throw it away. So the
Right.
same thing with my cosmetics. I went through all that stuff that has, what is that? What is that? What is that? Throw
Right.
it away.
Right.
you know, and the fact that people around me saw it. They saw the transformation at work. When I was sitting and I could not sit, or I had to stand up and I could not do this, and I had to get up and walk the hallway because I could not sit for longer than 10, 15 minutes. I had to stand by the wall, and just stretch and just wait there until the pain dissipated, come back and sit and do it again.
Mhm.
And then when they lost the weight and then things that I'm doing and what they were able to see me roaming and working and talking and more cheerful and then what did you do? I've got about 3 or 4 people just so interested. Oh, I think I'm going to call her, but I'm going to wait until the holidays. I don't think I could do that till the holidays. That's fantastic. My family and my friends, the fact that God used you to use me to show the world that it can be done with first you have to have the desire. You have
Yes.
to have the desire. It has to be. So that opportunity that God gave me to be an actual living testimony of what I can do with my body, with what he has already provided, you know, that has been a huge turning point in my life. The fact that I know that I was without saying anything unless they asked me, but they just watched me and they saw the transformation. That
Right.
to me is one of the biggest things I have to take with this.
Right. Yes. And that was I was able to witness that as well. So often the women I work with are all virtual, but Jenny and I have the pleasure of attending the same church. And
Yeah.
so I get to see her, I get to hug her neck, we get to laugh together and talk together in person, which I treasure so much, and she's become a dear friend. And so I was able to also see your transformation, and it was just incredible. And the weight that Jenny said that she had lost, but she didn't necessarily need to lose it. That was toxic inflammation that was causing so much pain. And so that was why her body, again, the body is brilliantly designed. It knows what to do when we give it the tools and support and when we listen to the signals it's telling us. So, what would you say, Jenny, was the main thing inside the program that you absolutely loved?
Um, that it's the book that you gave me tells me the do's and don'ts, and that was good to know. But also with your guidance on the program, not just the do's and don'ts, but the don'ts and why not.
Mm,
I'm a person, I need to know, not, but why not? I want to know why. Why not?
right.
That satisfies my curiosity and also gives me a sense of relief and peace that I am doing the right thing.
Mm,
Um, Consistency,
mm,
that being able to just, as a commitment, the consistency and say, I need to do this, I want to do this. Got up in the morning and if I need to take my drops, I'm taking my drops and there was something that just carry me from one meal to the other or carry me from one step to the next. I will say the guidance and the structure of it all, because I'm a person of a structure, that helped me a lot. Something that I could go back to and read. And also the flexibility on your schedule, the availability that you had, that you were reachable. That was essential to me. If I had a question, if I found something, I would take a picture, text it to you, and you would say yes or no. And it was a lot of exchanges on things like that. I felt that, accountability.
mm.
You were my sounding board that I could say, I need to ask this. And what's so funny when I did this, Mark would say, have you asked Michelle? And have you asked Michelle? Did you talk to Michelle about that? My God, when we're on an airplane, I drink my ginger ale. That's your second ginger ale. You better tell Michelle about it. And like he told you, you have not been grounding yourself. Things like that. Accountability is a good thing in our spiritual life,
Yes.
in our careers,
Yes.
and then why not in the wellness and what's going to be best for our bodies and our mind? Why not? So to me, that was essential.
Yeah, absolutely. It is essential. I believe it's essential. That's why I make myself available and accessible because when we are making lifestyle changes, it's not diet mentality. I'm so against diet mentality because it's kept women sad, sick, and stuck for all of these years. And so it is truly that lifestyle change. And there has to be ebbs and flows and listening to your body and what your body's saying. And then that grace and grit, right? The tough
Yeah.
love, the grit, the discipline for yourself, but then the grace over yourself as well. So that's perfect. Okay, so let's wrap this up. For those women that know something is off in their health and they aren't getting answers, they're really wondering if Restore is something she should commit to, what would you say to her?
Listen to your body. Listen to your body. When you have that, you call it instinct, sixth sense, intuition. I don't know, especially women. We know when something is wrong. And then we get trapped in that denial thing, or that I'm too young for that, or I'm not overweight, or I'm just fine. And because we are by nature caretakers, so
Yeah.
we concentrate and just focus on everybody else and everything else around us because it has to be done, and we neglect ourselves.
Yes.
And myself, I've been one that I used to worry about being worried, if that
Oh,
makes sense, you
yeah.
know. Um, and things I that did not feel, oh, that hurt right there. What was that? Well, they have a pill for that. I'm not going to take it, so I'm just going to endure the pain. I'm just going to go through the pain. Listen to your body. Your body is, as Michelle said, it's just incredibly and wonderfully made to perfection, that the Lord has given it to you for you to listen to, and then not just listen to it, because there's a big difference. I hear that, but did you listen to it, and then what did you do about it? So
Hmm.
if you heard it and then you listen to it and it persists and you don't do anything about it, what's going to happen? It's going to continue. So I
Right.
guess the big question would be, do you want to change? Do you want to feel better?
Right.
Do you really want to get up in the morning and with energy? Not like you're always going to be a chipper person. It doesn't. That's not even realistic. But
Right.
that 90% of the time, you're going to get up with a purpose. And
Mm.
with that purpose, the desire to be the best you could be, to take care of others because that's what we want to do, to serve because that is what is in our DNA, to
Yes.
work hard if that's what we have to tutor, to mentor, to whatever it is that we have to do. We must take care of ourselves. We need to be well, and not just physically, but mind and spiritually. So they have to be one. That's one thing. This is one of the very first times in my life where my body, my mind, and my soul were in harmony.
Okay.
So there are many times that I wanted to do things, my mind and my heart, yeah, 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 but my body could not do it, or vice versa. I was struggling and I was pushing, 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 and my mind is telling, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And spiritually, I knew that I had not been obedient to whatever it was saying. So now, when I make my decisions, I must think that I need to be in harmony with my body, my mind, and my soul, because of the creation and what God has done in my life and what He has provided for me. I must be obedient to the Father, you know, and then everything else comes in harmony. So it's got to be a desire. You have to want it. You have to want it. I cannot put it any other way. You have to really want it and push through it in harmony.
In harmony. Well, right. Well, they talk about balance, right? And we were just I was just talking with some other ladies about this too. It's more harmony, less balance, because there are times in our life where we are leaning towards, like we have to say no to serving for a little while or volunteering or doing something so we can focus on ourselves to and give ourselves energy to pour into ourselves for a season in a non-selfish way. That's a whole other conversation, but
Right.
so that we can then pour out, just like you said so beautifully. And I think that's a perfect place to end. I mean, Jenny is a powerhouse woman, guys. Like, this is what makes her transformation so incredible, because with her gardening. She has tons of land, an Airbnb, working, service. She's always there at the church, serving and volunteering at places. She's a wife, a mom. She's doing all the things, right? Like she has such a heart to serve, just like you. And I mean, Jenny, you really couldn't afford not to focus on yourself for this season, right?
True, true, true. Very
Oh.
true. Right.
So thank you so much for coming on the show today, sharing your heart, sharing your testimony, sharing your transformation. I know that this will bless so many women. So thank you,
My
Jenny.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me and thank you for your coaching.
Wow. How did you relate to Jenny? Have you too struggled with your exhaustion and it's been really affecting your whole life, even your relationships? I pray that this episode gave you so much encouragement and hope that you can recover, because sad, sick, and stuck is not your lot in life. And if you resonated with what Jenny said, now is your time to own your health, because you too can have amazing results in your own body much sooner than you even think. So if you know that you are done living in less than optimal health, just going through the motions and pushing through your fog and fatigue, and you want to know what your body needs as you own your health, book your Fatigue Freedom Breakthrough Call. The link is in the show notes, or you can email me at michelle@treasuredwellness.com. And I want to leave you with the main foundational verse that Treasured Wellness was founded on, 3 John 2. Beloved, I pray that in every way you may prosper and enjoy good health as your soul also prospers. Yes and amen. I invite you to share this episode with a friend, and remember, you are a beautiful treasure and your body is a temple. So treasure your wellness.